there was something happening in me that I have never experienced before.
I always thought that eating a lot of meat will make us feel heavy, tired. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard for our digestive system.
I started to feel fatigued. I just wasn't as energized, and I had really, really bad headaches, and I just couldn't go away.
This diet has changed so much in us. I started questioning veganism, and I started questioning fruit and vegetables.
Sara and I just completed 120 days on the carnivore diet, and I can't believe we did it. What were the struggles? Did we notice any benefits? Would we recommend it to other people? It's been a wild ride, and honestly, I can't believe that you actually did the carnivore diet.
So I was vegan for almost 10 years. Jordan for a while has had like a lot of issues like in his gut, and they deteriorated really fast. I was always wondering why the vegan diet didn't fix it when we were eating very clean, no processed food, lots of vegetables, and it got to a point where we were going to the hospital almost every weekend. You needed lots of blood transfusions.
Yeah, well, I mean, for context, so I have really bad digestion, and it was getting to a point where every time I would go to the bathroom, I would end up bleeding. And then I ended up losing so much blood that I ended up in emergency room getting blood transfusions, and the doctors wanted two things from me. They just wanted to book me in for expensive surgeries or medicate me, and that was pretty much my only two options. And well, I could get the surgery and I would recover. Then if we didn't address the underlying issue, then I would just end up back in the same spot. So we started hearing about the carnivore diet and how it can heal people with all sorts of conditions and things.
And also every time we heard about someone talking about the carnivore diet, we were like, man, they must be really sick, that the only thing that their body is okay with is meat.
I guess I got to a point where I was one of those really sick people. So that's what allowed us to really give it a chance. But I just went out to the butcher and was like, I mean, how hard could it be, right? Just eat meat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But when I got to the butcher and I was like looking around, I was like, I don't know what half of this stuff is, let alone how to cook it.
Yeah, I remember you would always ask the guy at the butcher, like, okay, so what is that? Oh, how do you cook it? And like we were so clueless. I mean, after being vegan and then just buying the same kind of chicken, like, we just didn't know.
I just jumped into it cold turkey. I just cut everything else out and I just went hard. And I wanted to do it strict as well, because then there would always be that one thing is like, oh, you didn't do it right, or you didn't do that. So whereas Sara, she did more of a transition.
Yeah. I'll start with one meal a day until I finish literally everything we have. And then after all of that, then I went straight.
So the first week was actually really tough. I was struggling with habits of snacking. You quickly realize on the carnivore diet that you can't really snack. Snacking's kind of impossible because everything needs to be prepared. Everything needs to be cooked. You can't just go to the fridge and pick out a piece of fruit or a snack or something like that. You're really stuck into your meal times whenever you eat. And also we struggled with sugar cravings too.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how addicted to sugar I was until I was really strict on carnivore. I was like, oh my gosh, all I can think of is sugar. It's all I want. And I was honestly not in the best mood every time I was thinking about sugar, because we're trying to do 30 days strict. That was our goal.
Yeah.
30 days. We're going to give it a go for 30 days. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll definitely go back to high fiber, because that's what it was in our brain.
Yeah. And to keep me accountable, and I also wanted to share my results, I was posting every single day on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, you were also very like, okay, I'm gonna give carnivore a chance. I'm gonna document it. So if it doesn't work, I'll definitely tell people don't do this diet. Like I
wanted to be as unbiased as possible. I just wanted to be like, hey, this is what I'm feeling now. I wanted to be an open book and just document it all. So it was like the third day was when I realized that something was really different. I realized that there was something happening in me that I have never experienced before. It was like, the best way I could describe it was like a light bulb going off in my brain, and all of a sudden I just had like a clear mind and I had focus like I had never experienced before. And this happened super early. I wasn't expecting to really feel any sort of benefits. By day 3, it was very early. And I just had this energy and I had this ability to concentrate, and my productivity went through the roof. At the time, it was quite shocking, and I knew pretty early on, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I felt really good.
Part of me was always like, we're not gonna feel great. I always thought that eating a lot of meat will make us feel heavy, tired. I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so hard for our digestive system to, digest all of this meat, like, because that's all we've ever heard. And I was always trying to like prove it wrong, like, no.
When it comes to the second week, all that energy that I had, it just disappeared. I started to feel fatigued, and I just wasn't as energized as I had been, and I had really, really bad headaches, and I just couldn't go away. I was drinking as much water as I could because I knew that you needed to drink more water when you're on the carnivore diet, and I was just trying to stay hydrated. Just wouldn't go away. The headache wouldn't go away. And because I was posting all about this online every single day, some awesome people were chiming in, and they mentioned like, hey, you should make sure you top up your electrolytes. And what do these electrolytes mean? The only time I've ever heard of the term electrolytes was with the Gatorade drink. It's like, what, do I go out and buy a Gatorade? That's not carnivore diet friendly. So what they actually mean is probably your salt. So we started adding a lot more salt to our meals, and for us, it was like a lot of salt, but it didn't taste bad. It was always to a point where it actually still tasted good. As soon as we started to do that, like, my headaches disappeared, my energy levels went straight back up. And I think that was like the 10-day mark. Oh, I said to Sara, I really like this diet. I think I'm going to stay on this because I just felt so good. I mean, it's one thing to feel good, but I had an objective, and that was to fix my gut problems, fix my digestion. What I experienced in the first week was I went to the bathroom like once, and that was weird. I just didn't need to go. And then when I eventually did go, it was like very little. This is like a really good thing for me because, first of all, it was easy for me to go to the bathroom, so it wasn't putting pressure on my system. But also, it would give my system a rest between sessions. That was when I was like, this is really, really good for me.
But my experience was very different.
Yeah.
I was in the bathroom like 3 times a day.
She had bad diarrhea.
Yeah, and Jordan was like so happy, like, oh yeah, like I'm not going to the bathroom. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna die. Like this is just not enjoyable. Yeah, I was just like, this diet is gonna kill me. Yeah, so it was really, really hard, like maybe the first week. And then, yeah, and after that, I was sweet. I was like, wow.
It sort of balanced out, right? And you just started, it was a bit more regular.
Yeah, and it was fun. Before day 30, we were feeling solid. So I also suffer of migraines, and I was like, I did not get one migraine. I haven't got one allergy. This is ridiculous that this diet has changed so much in us in a healthier way that I started questioning veganism, and I started questioning fruit and vegetables because I was like, why didn't I feel like this when I was vegan? Why didn't your digestive system got healed when you were eating a high fiber diet? Why mentally we feel so sharp? Like, why did vegetables and juices and all of this didn't do it? Like, I started questioning these things.
Sara was adamant, like, I'm only doing this for 30 days. I'm not doing this any longer. 30 days comes around and she didn't want to stop.
I'm going to give it another week.
And then she just kept going and going. I guess the question is, like, would you recommend someone try the carnivore diet?
Absolutely. Honestly, I cannot express enough how much this diet has personally improved my health, even in things that I didn't think there were issues, like my periods. Like they have improved a lot. My cramps are now down to 1 day when they used to be very uncomfortable for the entire cycle. I could keep going. Honestly, like try by yourself. Like your body is gonna thank you. It's gonna be so thankful to you because you're gonna realize of so many other things that they weren't issues because they were normalized in your lifestyle, that once they're gone, you're gonna, it's almost like you become the superhuman you were meant to be.
I would say do it well. I would say do it strict and do it right and do it for at least 30 days.
Yeah.
And if you're ready to commit to at least 30 days, then I would recommend that you just try the carnivore diet, because if you try it and you feel amazing and you get healed in ways that you didn't think you would, well,
That's a massive win.
that's a massive win. If you try it and it doesn't work for you, that's great too. This clearly can't fix whatever you're going through. And so I would say, why not give it a go? Do 30 days and see what happens.